And we do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit.
The civil case against Jay-Z is finished. Legally, completely, permanently finished. The woman who accused him of helping Diddy assault her when she was 13 walked away from her own lawsuit in February of this year. She dismissed it with prejudice, which is the legal system's way of saying she can never bring it back ever. Jay-Z called it a victory. He said the allegations were frivolous, fictitious, appalling. He said the system failed. But here is what he did not do. He did not walk away. He did not celebrate quietly. He did not let the case go. Instead, he is now countersuing his accuser. He is trying to bankrupt her. Before any of this even started, he promised in writing that he would not give her lawyer one red penny. That was not a defense. That was a warning. And the warning is still active.
In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away."
So let us sit with that for a second. A woman says something happened. She files a civil case. Months later, she drops it. She cannot refile. The legal door slams shut. The man she accused, instead of breathing a sigh of relief and moving on with his billion-dollar life, decides to hunt her down in court. He is not defending himself anymore. There is nothing left to defend. The case is gone. He is punishing her. That music is the part that makes your stomach turn if you look at it for more than 5 seconds. What exactly is he trying to accomplish now? He already won. She withdrew. She admitted out loud on the record that she made mistakes, music, and still he is coming for her money. The dismissal itself sounds clean, voluntary, with prejudice. Those words make it sound like the accuser looked at her own story and decided it did not hold up. But that is not quite what happened. Jane Doe sat down with NBC News in December of last year. She said, and I want to quote this exactly, "I have made some mistakes. I may have made a mistake in identifying." She never said the assault did not happen. She never recanted the core claim. She admitted she got something wrong about who did what. Jay-Z's team pounced. They took those words and used them to argue that the whole case was a fabrication. Then a few months later, her own lawyers asked the court to dismiss everything with prejudice. No coming back.
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact.
That alone would already be a strange, uncomfortable story. An accuser admits an error. The case collapses. The wealthy defendant celebrates. But that is not where we are. After the case was resolved, Jay-Z filed a countersuit against Jane Doe and her lawyer Tony Busby. Think about the timing. The case was already dismissed in February. The countersuit came in March. He waited until she had no legal weapon left. Then he struck. That is not self-defense. That is retaliation. He is not asking for a symbolic dollar. He is seeking damages. He wants to bankrupt her. He wants to make sure she cannot afford to breathe without thinking about what happens when you accuse Sean Carter of something. His own words make this even harder to explain away. In that December statement, he said, "I will not give you one red penny." He kept that promise. He did not settle. He did not pay. But he did not stop there. Now he wants to take her money instead. He wants to drain her. He wants to leave her with nothing. In a GQ interview published in March of this year, he said the lawsuit caused him uncontrollable anger. He said settling ain't in my DNA. He said he would rather endure. Those are not the words of a man who is relieved to be exonerated. Those are the words of a man who is furious that someone dared to try. And here is where the story stops being about one case and starts being about something much larger. What Jay-Z is doing right now is not about justice. It is not about clearing his name. His name is already clear in the legal sense. The case is dismissed. No jury convicted him. No judge found him liable. He can walk down any street in America and say he won.
But he is not walking away.
He is making sure that every potential accuser who might be watching learns the same lesson. You come for him, he destroys you. Even if you drop the case, even if you admit you made a mistake, even music, if you have no way to ever sue him again, he will find you. He will drag you into court. He will try to take everything you have.
But there are people who have been indicted in the public space, and it hasn't been true. And so I think Jay-Z's tone was exactly. But see, I saw Puffy say the same, and then a video came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the message. And it is impossible to miss. His legal team, led by Alex Spiro, has already signaled that they are going after Jane Doe for extortion and false claims. They are not just defending, they are prosecuting. They are treating the accuser like a criminal. And they are doing it in full view of the public with the full weight of a billionaire's legal budget behind them. The same legal team that forced the case into dismissal is now turning around and using the dismissal as proof that she lied. Do you see the trap? She drops the case. He says that proves she was lying. Then he sues her for lying. There is no way out of that logic once the machine starts moving. But let us be honest about something. The original accusation was never clean. It was never simple. The amended complaint filed in December of 2024 included details that were always going to be difficult to prove. A 13-year-old girl at an MTV Video Music Awards afterparty in September of 2000. A driver who invited her. A drink she believed was altered. Diddy with what the filing called a crazed look in his eyes. Thrown against a wall. Jay-Z removing her clothes. Assaulted while Diddy and an unnamed female celebrity watched. Those are the allegations that were on the public record. Those are the allegations that Jay-Z called a blackmail attempt. And those are the allegations that a few months later disappeared from court forever. But the dismissal did not erase the fact that those words were filed. It did not erase the headline. It did not erase the image. That story already happened in public. It already burned itself into the conversation. Now, instead of a trial, instead of sworn testimony, instead of any kind of resolution, we have a countersuit. A billionaire trying to grind a woman into dust. A lawyer, Tony Busby, who set up a hotline for Diddy victims and claimed 12,000 calls in 24 hours, now fighting for his own professional survival. Busby is facing his own counterit from Jay-Z. He is being accused of extortion. His firm is under investigation by private teams that Jay-Z reportedly hired. This is not a legal dispute anymore. This is a war of attrition.
People gonna believe what they want to believe anyway, so, I mean, why waste my time?
And sometimes you respond to something that brings way more attention to it, too.
That too, and it's just, it goes into another space, and then you just like, oh, y'all not listening?
And the really strange part is that Jay-Z's own lawyer has tried to distance him from Diddy entirely. In December of last year, Alex Spiro told reporters that Jay-Z and Diddy knew each other professionally for a number of years. He said, "There is no closer association between any of them." That is what the lawyer said. But the public record says something else. Decades of collaborations, joint concerts, $1 million hurricane relief donation together in 2005. Diddy speaking at Jay-Z's events. Jay-Z appearing in a video tribute for Diddy's Lifetime Achievement Award. They were not strangers. They were not music distant colleagues. They were two men who ran in the same elite circles, attended the same parties, and supported each other publicly for years. Now, the lawyer is asking us to believe it was all purely professional. Why would he need to say that unless the association itself looked bad? That is the friction point that keeps the story alive. If Jay-Z had nothing to do with Diddy, if their relationship was as distant as Spiro now claims, then why did Jane Doe name them together? Why did she describe an assault involving both men? Why did she say a female celebrity watched? And why has that female celebrity never been identified? The complaint mentioned her. The media reported on her, but no name ever surfaced. No one came forward. No one confirmed. No one denied. She is just a ghost in the filing, a witness who may or may not exist, who may have been paid off or threatened or simply invented.
We do not know.
And because the case was dismissed with prejudice, we may never know. So now we are in this bizarre space where the legal system has done its job. The case is closed. The paperwork is signed. But the story is wider than ever. Jay-Z is still countersuing. Jane Doe is still facing financial ruin. Tony Busby is still fighting to save his reputation. Diddy is still in prison on an unrelated criminal conviction, serving 50 months for violating the Mann Act, while Jay-Z walks free with no criminal charges at all. Same party, same year, same accusation. One man is behind bars. The other is suing his accuser for daring to speak. That contrast alone should make you uncomfortable because it raises a question that no court can answer. What is the difference between the man who fell and the man who did not?
To the evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who...
And the difference is not evidence. The difference is power. Power that looks like a counterfeit, a legal team that moves faster than the press can report. A billionaire who promised not to pay a penny and then turned around to take pennies from someone who is almost nothing. The case against Jay-Z is over. The war against his accuser is still active. The only question left is not whether he did it. That question is no longer legally valid. The only question now is who gets destroyed next. Because that is how this system works when the powerful win. They do not just win. They make sure no one ever tries to fight them again. The federal government moved on Diddy long before Jane Doe ever added Jay-Z's name to a complaint. That is the first thing you need to understand about why one man is in prison and the other is at home. Diddy was arrested in September of Music 2024. The investigation had been running for months. The civil cases were already stacking up. He had a target on his back that was painted before this specific accusation even existed. Jay-Z never had that. His name appeared in one amended filing in December, and within weeks, his legal team had already filed an extortion lawsuit against the accuser's lawyer. One man waited to be hit, the other hit first. That is not evidence. That is strategy. And strategy won. Now, Diddy is sitting in a federal facility while his lawyers try to undo a conviction that never should have happened, at least according to them. In July of last year, a jury found him guilty on 2 counts of violating the Mann Act. He was acquitted on the bigger charges, the ones that could have put him away for life, but the judge still gave him 50 months. And here is where it gets legally strange. The judge was allowed to consider evidence from the charges where the jury said not guilty. That is music the rule. Judges can look at the full picture of a defendant's behavior, even conduct that did not lead to a conviction. Diddy's lawyers say that is unfair. They say the sentence should have been based only on what the jury actually found. The prosecution says that is how the system has always worked. Now, an appeals panel is stuck in the middle trying to figure out which side is right.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come.